my channel. I am Maricita Colors in English.
To make this beautiful leg warmer, we need almost 150 grams of yarn. I made in circle. I used the hook number 3,50 millimeters and the yarn is a teeny yarn of acrylic. This leg warmer is for teenagers and for us, the adults. It's super warmer. The stitch is the double crochet in relief and is very similar to the rib stitch in knitting. In the base I have 40 stitches and I made increases for that is white in the calf. Here you can see the increases. If you want make wider your leg warmer, only you must make more increases. From long, I have almost 33 centimeters, and in the calf, I have 14 by 2 is 28 centimeters, and in the ankle, I have 24 centimeters. So now we will learn to make this beautiful leg warmer. Here I will make 40 chains, 40 cadenetas en español. This is the way that I begin my chains. I involve 2 times the first for the second, yarn over the hook, and we make the first chain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40 chains. We will see how many centimeters I have here. Approximately 23 centimeters. Now I will make a straight over chains and I will join into the first chain with one slip stitch. Punto deslizado en español. And now we join our chains. Now I make 2 chains like the first double crochet. Double crochet in Spanish, vareta or punto alto. In every stitch, we must make 1 double crochet, and in the second round, I will begin with the double crochet in relief. Yarn over the hook, we insert into the chain, we bring the yarn over the hook, we pass for 2, and we pass for the last 2. Again, yarn over the hook, we insert into the chain, we bring 1 loop, we pass for 2, and we pass for the last 2 stitches or 2 loops. Like this I will make until finish our round, and our chains must be straight. Here almost I finished the round. I must have 40 double crochet. Always you must have even number 40, 42, 44, 46, and so by there. Remember that the size of your thread depends on your yarn and your hook, remember. Here I have 38 double crochet, so I will make the 39 double crochet. And here I will make the 40, but I have two places. So I will skip one stitch, and in the next I will make the 40 double crochet. These are little tricks for that our threads are correct. Here I will join in the second chain of the begin, and I will make the slip stitch. We close the round. In this second round, I will begin to make the rib stitch that is super similar to the knitting, the rib stitch. So first I make two chains like the first double crochet, and this is like the purl stitch in knitting. We must alternate the stitches. Now I will make the knit stitch. From the front, I pass the hook to the reverse, and again to the front, I catch the double crochet, and I pass the yarn. We have 3 loops, yarn over the hook, and we pass for 2, and we pass for the last 2. We make the double crochet. This is the knit stitch. Now I will make the purl stitch. Yarn over the hook from the reverse to the front, and again to the reverse. We pass the yarn. We have 3 loops. We pass for 2 and for the last 2. This is the double crochet in relief for the front and for the reverse. Now I will make the knit stitch from the front to the reverse to the front. Yarn over the hook, we pass. We have 3 loops. Yarn over the hook, we pass for 2, and we pass for the last 2 stitches. So like this, we must alternate the knit and purl stitch. Now I will make the purl stitch. Yarn over the hook from the reverse to the front and again to the reverse. We catch always the double crochet of the previous round. We pass the yarn. We pass for 2 and for the last 2 loops. And here I repeat and alternate the purl and the knit stitches. Here I made the knit stitch, and now I will make the purl stitch from the reverse to the front and again to the reverse. We pass for 2 and we pass for the last 2 stitches or loops. And here I will make the last knit stitch. And here I find the 2 chains that are like the purl stitch. For this I must make an even number for that always our stitches are correct. Here I will join with 1 slip stitch in the second chain of the begin. And we made the first round of double crochet in relief. Again, 2 chains, we must repeat always the same. And I find the knit, the purl stitches. And we always must continue. Here I will make the knit stitch from the front to the reverse and again to the front. And we pass for 2 into. The knit or the purl stitch from the reverse to the front and again to the reverse. We pass the yarn for the double crochet, and here we finish the double crochet. So now only we must repeat and alternate the purl and knit stitches. Here I make the knit stitch. I will make some rounds more and I will come back for show you how I begin the increases in my leg warmer. Here I made some marks for to know where I begin the increases. Almost in 13 centimeters I begin. This is the 19 round. So in the 20 round I will begin the increases. Here I have the 40 double crochet and I finish the round. This is the knit stitch, the purl stitch, and I must make always the last knit stitch before I join the round. Here I join with the 2 chains in the second chain with 1 slip stitch. You can make a mark or a jar for to know where are the begin of every round. Here I will begin to make the increases. Again, 2 chains like the purl stitch. And here I will begin in the same stitch where are these purl stitch of the previous round. I will make another purl stitch. We pass for 2 and we pass for the last 2. Here I find the knit stitch and I make the knit stitch. And you can see here the 2 stitches in 1 stitch. I will make the increases every 5 stitches. Here I have 2, 3 stitches, 4 stitches, and here the 5 stitch. This is the knit stitch. And I will make 1 increase again. Every 5 stitches I will make 1 increase. The increases are only in the purl stitch. In the same purl stitch I make another purl stitches. The increases are, like I say before, only in the purl stitches. And again I repeat the 5 stitches. Here I made 5 stitches, and again in this purl stitch I will make 2 stitches. So I will make 1 increase from the reverse to the front and again to the reverse, and I make the purl stitch. And in the same stitch I will make the increase. So in one stitch we make 2 stitches, 2 purl stitches. And again I will make the 5 stitches. Like this I must make until finish this round. First I finish, or almost I finish this round. Here I made the last increase. After this I made the 5, and here I will make the last increases. I will make 2 purl stitches in 1 stitch. Here again from the reverse to the front and again to the reverse, we pass the yarn into the stitch. We pass for 2 and we pass for the last 2 loops. This is the last increase. Here I will make only the stitches before I join the round. Here I make this knit stitch, and here I find the 2 chains, and in the second chain up is 1 stitch, and we make the slip stitch. And we finish the round of increases. Now I will show you how we make the stitches over the increases. The 2 chains like the first double crochet, and here I find this purl stitch, so I make the purl stitch. Now I have 2 purl stitches. Here I find the knit stitch, and we continue making the stitches that we find. 1 purl and 1 knit stitch. If you want, you can make more increases if you want more wide your leg warmer. Here I find again the two purl stitches and we must make again the two purl stitches. And here I make the stitches that I find. From here only I will make a stitch over a stitch. Look the increases. This is the normal purl stitch and here is the two purl stitches. It's a little open. Here before the chains of the begin, always I must make the knit stitch. And we join with the slip stitch into the second chain of the begin. And here we finish the round. Here I don't make more increases. I only will make a stitch over a stitch. So we begin with the two chains and make the purl stitch that was the increase. And we will make the stitches that we find. Like this you will make until that you have the long of your leg warmer that you prefer. Here I make the knit stitch that I make before to join the round. Here I find the chains of the begin and I make the slip stitch. Here I have 33 centimeters approximately of long. Here I will stop the rib stitch or the double crochet in relief and I will begin the border. Here I will make two chains and into the same arc where are the chains I will make 3 double crochet together. 1, 2 and 3 double crochet. So here is like I have 4 double crochet because the first chains are like the first double crochet. I will skip one stitch and into the next I will make one single crochet, punto medio or punto bajo en español. Skip one stitch and into the next we make again the 4 double crochet. So now we repeat all the stitches, the 4 double crochet and the single crochet. We skip one stitch and into the next we make the single crochet. Look, this is the border that I make into my leg warmers. Always remember to skip the stitches and alternate the 4 double crochet and the single crochet. I will continue and I'll be back when I finish this round. We skip one stitch and we make the single crochet. Look, it's very nice our border. Now I make the 4 double crochet. Here almost I finished the round and I will show you how you can make that over stitches continuing always. Here I make the 4 double crochet and always before this 4 double crochet I must have the single crochet. So here if I make the single crochet is a little far away from the 4 stitches from the beginning. So here I make every 3 stitches I will make the single crochet and here I have the 2 stitches before the 4 double crochet of the begin. So now I join with the slip stitch in the second chain of the begin. And we finish this beautiful border. Now I will pass again the yarn into the stitch. We cut the yarn and we finish to pass the yarn into the stitch. And I push for that my thread is uniform. Now I will sew the yarn of the begin in the reverse of my leg warmers. I pass the needle into the center of the stitches, not in the front, only in the center of the stitches. I start to pass and here I will make one loop and I will pass the needle into this loop for make more secure our sew. And from here I begin to pass the needle into the reverse of our thread. You don't must to make tight this sew, only a little softly. When you see that your yarn is secure, we can cut. And look, you don't see the yarn. For decorate, you can use some buttons, but this is optional. And we have ready our beautiful leg warmers in crochet with the double crochet in relief that is super similar to the rib stitch in knitting. I want to invite you to subscribe here in my channel Maricita Colors in English. It's total free and you can find me in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Pinterest. If you like this video, you can give one like and share it with your family and friends. Thank you very much and we see us in my next crochet or knitting pattern. Ciao, ciao!